I'm going to be talking a little about changes in the air and how that pertains to the gospel and the kingdom. And there's these moments that we actually get to choose. We get to partner with Him. We get to partner with God. And I love that obedience. There's moments where it actually takes obedience. Do you guys know that? There's moments where God falls on you and you can't do a thing. Anybody ever had those moments? Love those moments. Can't do a thing. There's other moments where it's actually, He says, ball's in your court. That feels sobering and scary to me at times. I've been having this experience with change, with coins. And it first happened to me when we were at Sandy Creek High School. How many of you guys are with us at Sandy Creek High School? Love Sandy Creek High School. And it happened to me at Sandy Creek High School. I showed up and I was just there praying. I was just there, just walking up and down, just praying. And I saw a penny on the ground. And I picked up the penny and I looked at the penny. And on the date on the penny said 1986. And immediately I hear the Lord say, there's a single mom here that I want the whole congregation to give money to. So I happened to be doing offering that morning, which made that super convenient. And I said, is there a single mother here that was born in 1986? And this one woman in the back corner stood up and raised her hand. And we just had the congregation. I said, okay, guys, go give her money. And what Steve was just talking about, we have such a generous people. We have the heart of generosity. We're generous like our Father. And I just remember people there was thousands and thousands of dollars. We didn't know what to do with it. We had paper bags just full of money, just full of cash. So we just gave her the cash. And so at that moment, the Lord started to speak to me through pennies, though, especially pennies. And so fast forward, just recently, the senior team was out. We were out doing a retreat to pray and seek the face of the Lord and talk to one another. And I found another significant penny. And I was trying to figure out what the penny meant. And I've only seen 2 eagles in my life, bald eagles. And I'm sitting there and I asked the team that was there, I'm like, hey guys, does this mean anything to you? And they're like, no. I said, I know it was around the Jesus movement revival, but I don't think that's what it's a meaning in this moment. And so I wake up the next morning, I'm just seeking the face of the Lord, I'm just praying. I'm like, God, I gotta figure out what this penny means. I know you're speaking, what are you saying? And all of a sudden this eagle flies by, and eagles represent the apostolic. There's a restoration in the apostolic. We're in an epoch, a moment in time where there's a restoration. What I love about the apostolic isn't looking to the man or woman of God. The apostolic actually releases the people of God into the things of God. That is what the apostolic does. And I knew the Lord was speaking. So he started to talk to me and he ended up telling me what the penny was about, which was super significant to me. And during that time, Jen came up to me and she's like, hey, sweetie, I feel like it's time to put the kids in public school. And we love public school. We've been homeschooling the previous 6 years since we moved here. Before that, our kids were in public school, and we just love all ways to school kids, just to bring them up in the way they should go. And so I was kind of honestly having a little bit of a hard time with it. Like, Father, the biggest reason we wanted to homeschool our kids is because we feel like the primary disciplers of our children. And to disciple somebody, it actually takes time. It takes time. And so that was some of the hardest thing I was just having. And so I end up having a piece on Friday night to send our kids to school. And I told Jen on Saturday, I said, okay, I feel peace with you. I'm there, honey. And on Monday night, I decided to go to the local schools where they were going and just to go pray, ride my little 50cc moped, flat black, beautiful little thing out there. If you want to go check it out, it's just gorgeous. Flat black might be the greatest color on earth. It means creativity if you're a prophetic person. Sorry, so just look at all this creativity up here. Oh, yeah. Okay, so I begin to drive and I'm praying and I'm just blessing the school. And as I pull into the school, I have my head down looking for a penny, looking for change. And there was a prophetic word by Bobby Conner that went out about 2.5 months ago, and he kept on seeing coins fall at his feet. And the Lord spoke to him real clear and said, tell my people that change is in the air. Change is in the air. And so it was 2 weeks before I'm on my moped driving to pray for the schools. I received these two dreams by Amy. And she was talking to Jen and I, and she said, I've had 2 dreams about change. One was I saw coins falling out of the air and turning into butterflies. Metamorphosis. There's this change happening. And then the next dream was I saw a large field with a whole bunch of trees, and different individuals from our community, different people that she knew, was going up to the trees, and on the tree like fruit was coins, was change hanging from the trees, and people were walking up to those trees and picking their change. And this was the dream she had. She had 2 dreams. So she shares both these dreams with me, and I'm like, you have no clue how loud God is right now. He's speaking us through money, through coins, through these kind of things. And so I'm driving, and I'm looking for pennies at the school as I decide just to go pray for the schools. And as I'm driving, I hear the Holy Spirit. Did you know it's the kindness of the Lord to convict you? Remember, conviction is not condemnation. Conviction actually causes us to see higher. One of the things that Lindy was calling us to as a prophetic people, as an apostolic people, is to raise our gaze and make sure that we're looking from heaven to earth. And so I was looking for change on the ground, and I get to the front door of the school, and I hear the Holy Spirit say, what are you doing looking for change? And I knew he was like, you know those times where you're trying to make something happen? And it was one of those moments for me, and he says, look up. And remember, change is in the air. And so I'm just praying for the school, and I'm driving back and forth between both schools and just blessing them. And I spend about 30, 40 minutes doing that, and I decide to just drive back home. And I drive back home, and I hear the Holy Spirit say, you're not done. I'm like, wow. Controlling today. I'm joking. I did not say that. I did not say that. He just speaks to me in the same language I speak to myself, which probably isn't very good, but. And so I turn back around and go back to the schools, and as I drive in to the schools over here, there is these 3 large signs at all 3 schools. And on these schools, no joke, is a penny about this big, a giant penny, and it says on the school, on the sign, it says, your pennies matter. I am just like, I quit, I give up, I'm going to heaven right now, you're taking me, this is over, we're done. Remember, change is in the air, look up, look up. We have to be seated in these heavenly places to actually see what the Father is doing. I love, pick your change. The Lord has asked you to co-labor with him. There's not a greater reality than we get to co-labor with creative God. You are co-creators. You get to co-create. And this is actually what we're called to do.